Hey guys, I'm Colin at Gamenetics, and today I'm going to show you how to replace the bumper piece on an Xbox One S controller. Alright, before we get started, here are the tools we're going to need. You're going to either need a T8 screwdriver or a T8 drill bit. I'm going to use a drill bit in this video, and a pry tool. This is a sculpting tool. You can use whatever, just make sure it's flat on the end. All right, let's get started. So here we have one of our Xbox One S controllers, custom blue, and I'm gonna be fixing the bumpers here. One of them is broken, and it's all one piece, as you can see here. This is a replacement for it, and I'm just gonna take it apart and put that one on, and it'll be as good as new. So the first step is going to be removing these two side panels, which is kind of tricky. So what you do is you grab a tool kind of like this, a flat head of any kind. I have this sculpting tool. You hold down the trigger, make sure you do that, and then you stick the prying tool in between the trigger and the side panel, and you give it a good grip and just pull it apart. It's kind of one foul swoop motion. And then the exact same thing on the other side. They're both tricky, so don't be discouraged if you don't do it the first try. Alright, so after that, after you remove the side panels, you're going to want to remove the battery cover on the back. And then you'll see a sticky label, and if you just peel that up from the corner, you'll see that there's a screw underneath. That is the middle screw, one of 5 screws that you're going to need to remove to get into the internals of the controller. Your first screw that you're going to remove is going to be the middle one. And then, as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Start off with the middle one. I use this T8 drill bit. You can either have a screwdriver that's a T8 tool or a drill bit. I'm using a drill bit. You remove that middle one. And then I do the bottom two. Those come out really easily. So after those bottom two, you want to get the top 2 screws. And with those, make sure you hold down the trigger, because the triggers have a magnet underneath. And if you don't unscrew it right, the screws will just attach themselves to the magnet, and then it's a pain to get out. So make sure you hold down those triggers. All right, so now that those screws are out, you can just pop off that front shell very easily. And as you can see, this is a Xbox One S controller, and you can tell by the top part right there. If it was an older model, then this bumper piece would be completely different. And same with the Series X, the bumper piece would be different. But I have a 1S controller here, so this is how you fix a 1S controller bumper issue. All right, so the next step is to pry these tabs up. There's 2 in the front next to the home button, and then 2 on the either side of the bumper. The 2 on the either side of the bumper you don't really need to mess with. You just want to take your flathead tool and pop it under the tab, and it'll pop right up over. And same with the next one. And then you want to grab either the right or left side of the bumper and just unhook it. There's a tiny little tab that hooks, and it just pops right off. And then it all comes off in one piece, even though it is 2 pieces. So you can either keep those together or keep them separate. When you put the new one on, you're going to want to separate those 2 pieces. And here's the sync button. Make sure you don't lose that, because that will fall out very easily. And it just pops in right there where I'm showing you. So I just try to keep that in there. The next step, you're gonna grab your new bumper and make sure you separate those because you wanna put the actual bumper on first, the two attached bumpers. You hold down both triggers, and again, the tabs, there's 2 tabs in the middle, 2 tabs on the side. You just wanna pop those in so that they click their buttons. And while you're holding down the triggers, just make sure to click those, make sure everything clicks and works. And then you take the center piece, and there's gonna be 2 holes. There's gonna be clips in the back, and there's gonna be 2 holes in the front. So what you do is you just kind of pop it up over, and you're gonna wanna press harder than you'd think, and make sure those 2 tabs in the front, the holes pop up over onto the tabs. As you can see, they look great. Click everything, make sure it's good. And the last step is reassembling it. So essentially do everything I just showed you, but in reverse. I'll go ahead and show you that. Everything's good. Make sure the bumpers, make sure everything works right before you put it back together. And then just put all the screws back in. Put it on the end. Make sure that sticky label's down. Pop this back on, and undo each screw. These T8 drill bits are magnetic, which helps a lot, so I can just grab it like that. Then once you got that, make sure all the screws are in. And then these are real simple. They just pop right back on, like so. Make sure everything's good. There you go. That's how you fix a bumper. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you didn't, let us know in the comments. If you have any concerns or questions, and we'll try to cover it in the next video. I'm calling it Gamenetics. Good to see you. I love finger guns.